Last month, global sea temperatures reached a record high of July. This is an alarming moment for climate change, and there are maritime heat waves across the Atlantic, Pacific and Mediterranean. But as the Arctic ice melts, new shipping lanes are opening up in the high north. These promise to radically decrease the time it takes to transport commercial goods from the Atlantic to the Pacific. This week, a Chinese shipping line launched the first weekly container ship passage through the Arctic. The route, which skirts Russia on a journey between China's east coast and the UK, has been branded the Ice Silk Road. Well, joining us now is Michael Kingston, who is an international maritime lawyer and special advisor to the Arctic Council's Protection of the Arctic Marine Environment Working Group. Thank you very much for joining us. It's an interesting situation that we find ourselves in because clearly these are really important routes, but we have to be very mindful of the environment.
Good morning, Vishala. Yes, we do. The fact is that climate change has resulted in ice melt over a long period in the Arctic, and shipping has increased. The Protection of the Arctic Marine Environment Working Group runs a project called the Arctic Ship Traffic Data System, and it showed that in the period between 2013 and 2025, 40% more ships have operated in the Arctic area. Obviously, that is a substantial increase, and the Arctic states, who are members of the Arctic Council, are concerned that the pristine environment is protected.
And is that possible? Because clearly businesses and industries need to work at speed to establish new routes, but they do need to be mindful, as you say. It's very important to be mindful of the environment. Do you think those two goals can kind of exist by each other?
Well, it all boils down to regulation, just like everywhere else in the world. And in 2017, the International Maritime Organization's Polar Code for Shipping came into effect. And like everywhere else, regulation is one thing, implementation is another. So again, the Protection of the Arctic Marine Environment Working Group established a project called the Arctic Shipping Best Practice Information Forum, which runs a web portal to compile all the latest best practice information for the implementation of that regulation. So one hopes, and I'm sure they are, with these new developments by the Chinese operators, and indeed the South Koreans have also announced a container route through the Northern Sea route, that they are adhering to the regulations under the Polar Code, which have stringent regulations for safety of the vessel and also protection of the environment.
And Michael, just briefly, there's clearly a cost, a financial cost. What is the scale of that at the moment in terms of the impact it's going to have economically and financially?
In terms of the Northern Sea route is 20 days shorter than going through the Suez Canal and avoiding all the problems of piracy and the geopolitical problems at the moment in the Strait of Hormuz, for example. The costs, however, are substantial in terms of having to have ice-class vessels or icebreaker support because of the ice conditions, and this, of course, is a substantial cost. So at the moment, it's not fully viable to use this route for major shipping companies.
Okay, Michael, thank you very much for joining us. Michael Kingston there.